it's Oliver Twixt here, your nerd boy cutie, always reporting for duty to do the Lord's work. What's up, God? I am so excited for this exclusive we have today. I have been blessed by the reality TV gods above to share the digital space with none other. It's time to get Buckwild, baby! Buckwild from VH1's Flavor of Love, Charm School, and I Love Money is in our classroom today to get into the things of the things. And I am so excited. A lot of times, guys, I have like imposter syndrome when I do things like that because I'm just thinking back to when I was a kid. Watching these people that I now share space with and have been blessed to talk to, it's just like, and bitch, I'm stuttering. I'll be on the inside, like, kind of like fanning out a little bit. And today is definitely one of those days because y'all know I love Flavor of Love, grew up on VH1, all the things, other things. And I'm talking to somebody who kept me and millions of other people entertained. Y'all know we've been getting to the things, other things with Flavor of Love. And I'm just so blessed to have another contestant, a pivotal, monumental, important personality within that universe here in my classroom to get to the things, other things. So without further ado, everybody, let's welcome to the classroom, Becky Buckwild Johnston, everybody.
Hello. Hi, baby. What won't Jesus do?
Hopefully send me to hell when I get to heaven.
Hopefully not make out with Flavor Flave, but somebody had to.
Becky, I am so happy to have you in my presence. This makes me like so happy. Like I feel like I've won an award, honestly.
It's been a long time coming, baby.
Yes. Let's tell everybody about the history and how this came about. I did my talk with Bootz that took over the internet. Everyone was talking about it. And then what happened?
I don't know what had happened. Maybe did I slide back into your DMs and yell at you for talking about me? You wouldn't be the first one.
But you were sweet yelling at me, though. It wasn't a mean yelling at me. It was so sweet.
Because you're sweet. Like, you didn't deserve to be mean, but, you know, like, I had to let you know. Why are you talking about me? Talk to me, not about me.
And here you are here now.
Here I am.
How does it feel to still be a relevant, sought after figure within this conversation of reality TV? Because not too long ago, not even a month ago, you literally just went viral for taking a picture next to Goldie. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's Buckwild, it's Buckwild, it's Buckwild. How does that feel?
So weird. Like, I mean, it was literally just a picture. And we hung out together like before that. We were in Mexico together for like a couple weeks. So it was like nothing for us to be together. So to wake up and see that picture like on 50 different blogs was a little wild, like crazy wild.
Do you still get recognized today?
By gay people.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, I know we're here to talk about Flavor of Love, Charm School, all the great things you did over there at VH1. And I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but I want to know, what have you been up to all these years? Like, what you been doing? Where are you in the world? What's going on in your life? I'm nosy. Tell me.
You are so nosy. I'm a Scorpio. We don't like to be telling our business like that.
I love Scorpios.
Terrible. But I do spend a lot of time in Cozumel, Mexico. I went there during the pandemic and I learned how to free dive, snorkel, and it's just so beautiful there. And the people there are incredible. Like, shout out to all my Cozumeleños. Mwah. The best fucking people. So sweet. And the island is like stunning. Like the water, crystal clear. Like if I didn't have to leave to get some coins, I wouldn't.
I know that's right. And can I ask, are you dating? Are you married? You have kids? What you doing?
Oh my God. I've never been married. I have no kids and I don't date. Like, no. All that sounds terrible. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to just go to Mexico whenever the fuck I want.
Right. I guess so, right? First of all, you look stunning. You look beautiful. Like
Thank you.
beautiful. Yes, you look
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. And I'm so happy to see just how beautiful you are and still like radiant of energy and personality. I'm
Okay,
like,
now you're
girl,
little.
I'm fanning out right now. Let me fan out. I'm fanning out.
I'm gonna get you a fan, baby.
So we are in 2024, still talking about, honestly, what has gone down in the history books as one of the most monumental, historically important reality TV shows of all time, which is Flavor of Love. Arguably, Flavor of Love season 2 being the most popular out of all of them and the most significant, especially when you talk about ratings and you talk about the season, what happened, the twists and turns, and just, you know, what came out of that season and you being a part of that season. How does it feel like doing something that, you know, I'm pretty sure back then you didn't think too much of it, but now 20 years, I think maybe 20 years later, don't slap me, but like it's still culturally significant and important.
I'm gonna slap you because I'm only 22, so that is impossible.
I know that's right.
Impossible. But I mean, it's actually really crazy. And I remember years ago when I first did the show, one of my comedian friends came up to me and he was like, "Do you understand what you did is so big? Like, you could literally be an answer on Trivial Pursuit." And I thought that was so weird that he said that. But it's like now, like, I realized that he was very accurate. Like, that's crazy that any part of this is still relevant today. Like, thank God. Like, it's great. It's amazing. I love the recognition. People are so sweet about it. Like, it's great to see what an impact that this has had on people's lives, because it's like people your age grew up on this. Like, they really watched it in their childhood. So it's so ingrained in their memory, where it's like people my age know what it is, but they don't really think about it so much more. But people younger in your age really grew up and saw this type of stuff for the first time, and it really stayed with them and formed their personalities, like, in a big way.
I saw New York and fell in love with the personality, and it dictated it dictated my personality like fifth, sixth grade year. Like I'm just gonna be mean to everybody because
Yes, you were the HBIC of the
I was the
elementary,
HBIC.
baby.
Yes, I was. You know,
I love
and
it.
I ruled with the iron fist. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we do it. Somebody had to do it.
So take us back. What were you doing before we got introduced to you on season 2 of Flavor of Love? It was already a thing. It had become like an overnight phenomenon. Season 1 blew it out of the water, put VH1, Flavor of Love, New York, all these different people on the map. And then here comes now season 2. What made you say, I want to do this? How did you even get involved?
Well, I was a big fan of Celebriality, like the whole Surreal Life, the Bridget and Flav show. I can't think about what the Strange Love was the name
Strange
of that.
Love.
Like, I loved it. Like, I loved watching it when Ron Jeremy, Tammy Faye Baker were on Surreal Life. Like, it was such good television.
Omarosa, Janice Dickinson.
Okay, the Omarosa.
China Doll.
Crazy. Yes. So many epic people were on that show. Like, it was so good. And the fact that
Celebrity boot camp,
okay.
Fit Club. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Flav, out of everybody that was on that show, he was the one that they took out and were like, no, like, we can do so much more with you. Like, which is incredible and says so much to the icon that he is and the hilarious personality that he is. But I was a fan before I was ever on the show. I watched Flavor of Love, like, I was waiting for that show to come out. And every day when I would watch it, I hated Pumpkin so much because I was like, why is this bitch on the show? I should be on the fucking show. Like, who is she? She doesn't even belong on this fucking show. Like, these are not her people. Like, no, like, I need to be on the show. And at the time I was doing stand-up comedy. So I was always on Craigslist looking for jobs and stuff like that. And it just said, do you want to date a rapper? Like, I'm sure a lot of other girls have exactly the same story. And I wanted to date a rapper. Like, of course, why not date a rapper? Like, that sounds great. So I clicked on it, replied, they called me and they were like, well, actually, it's this show called Flavor of Love. Have you seen it? And I'm like, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, have I fucking seen it? Like, I am imaginarily on it in my head already. So yes, send me to the office, put me on the show. It was a done deal. And like, I was seriously into Flav. Like, I was like, I thought I should have been his girlfriend. Like, when I watched the show, I was like, oh, like, we are meant to be together.
You got on the show to really date Flav.
Swear to God, like he has a great personality to me. Like everybody says he's ugly. He is not that ugly. Like I don't know why everybody want to call him so ugly. And he smells really good.
He's
And he's just
not
nice.
that ugly.
Look, I'm just saying, like I've dated much less good looking people.
But I mean, you definitely his type. If you look at all his baby mamas, you his type.
Yeah, I could. Well, apparently I look like Drake's baby mama too, so maybe I'm his type, but
What was the audition process like for you? So you go on Craigslist, you get a call back. What was the onboarding experience like for you? Did you go through a psych eval? Did you have to take some tests, some questionnaires, some auditions, some more tapes? Tell us about it.
yeah, definitely we had to. First, I went in and did the in-person audition, and I went with a friend of mine, and I went before her, and then she went after me, and they started asking her questions about me when she went in her interview. They were like, is that girl, is she like that all the time? Like, is you know her in real life? Like, that's who she is? And she was like, yeah, like she's definitely like that. She's crazy. Like, so I think that kind of convinced them, like, okay, like this is something we could work with.
Uh-huh.
And it pretty much went into the process after that. We did the psych evaluation, which was so weird, like an hour talking to a therapist on the phone, asking all kinds of weird, random fucking questions. Like, so weird. Like, do you like archery? Like, what the fuck? I don't even know. Like, I haven't tried. Like, what is that going to tell you about me? But I think they throw in weird questions to like throw you off or something. I don't know. Who knows? But they did that psych eval. We did the STD test. And then basically, I think maybe it was probably like 3 months before we started filming, went to the hotel. I think we were sequestered maybe like a night, 2 nights. And then we just showed up and started filming.
Wow. Do you remember what you were getting paid to film?
It's so funny because I found my Flavor of Love check the other day. Like I have a printed, like I made a copy of it for some reason.
Is it handy?
Yeah, I mean it's not super handy, but like if you want to hold on for a sec, I could get it.
I mean, if you feel like it, I would love if you showed it.
I'll send you a picture of it after this so you could like make it pop up. All right. How about that?
Okay, cool.
But it was like 1,100 something, like for the whole show.
Reunion included?
I hope they paid me more for the reunion, but honestly, I can't remember. Probably not. We was just happy to be there, Oliver. We were happy to be there. Like, you got to understand that at this point, and I mean, even still to this day, I feel like people would do anything to be on TV. Like, they would suck 87 dicks to get on that show. Like, at least I got paid. And I didn't even suck no dicks.
Who was sucking a dick, though? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I definitely think at least 2 of the girls suck some dick. That would be my guess. Maybe 3. I forgot about Crazy. Maybe 3.
So who was the other 2? Wait.
Listen. I like all the girls on that show. I'm not about to say they suck some dick if I didn't see them suck a dick.
I actually think this is a perfect time for us to go into roll call. I actually want to do roll call with you. So roll call is my favorite thing to do on my Twixclusives, where I name everyone who was a part of your cast the season that you film Flavor of Love, and you're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your brain. Now, this could be a feeling, this could be a thought, this can be a memory, some behind the scenes exclusive tea. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be ugly, or it could be indifferent, but it could be whatever you want it to be. My question is, are you ready?
Oh, we're ready. I looked up all the people before this because I knew you was going to do this. So I didn't want to be the person that was like, I don't know who that is. So I know who everybody is.
First on the list is Safari.
Icon, legend,
Ain't she?
Superstar, hilarious, probably the funniest person that exists on the planet. Like, just genuinely funny. Like, the shit that comes out of her mouth will make me laugh no matter what. Good person, amazing, smart, all good things.
What did you think about her time on the show?
Her time on the show was iconic. Like, you want some lip chat? She got a lip chat business. The girl said one line and got a business. Like, come on now. And I just remember, like, I didn't know her at all. And she was, she came off super intimidating that first day, the only day she was there. But she was super intimidating to me. Like, I don't even think I had a conversation with her. I think I purposely avoided her. I was like, yeah, let me just stay away from her. But I do remember walking into the room when she was fighting the other girl. And like, I looked at it and I was just like, holy shit, like these bitches is really in here going at it. And there was nobody there, just like a cameraman, but like nobody there to like get in between them or stop them. And like, if you watch the clip, you see me, I poke my head in the room and I turn around and I walk right into the other room. Like, I'm good. Enjoy yourselves. This is a good scene that I won't be in.
So in my chat with Bootz, she said that Safari was like a plant. What do you know about the so that's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah, Safari did the pilot for Flavor of Love before Flavor of Love won. And then she came and auditioned to be on Flavor of Love 2. And they were like, girl, we know who you are. You filmed the fucking pilot. What are you doing here? And they liked her so much that they ended up finding a way to put her on the show without having her be an actual contestant on the show. Because, I mean, they had to have her on the show.
So she was always going to get kicked out the first day anyways.
Yeah, so why not turn up?
That is iconic behavior, I think. I say so myself. I do say so myself. Next on the list is Eyes.
Eyes the Spy. She had nice eyes. Like, that's about it. No more comments.
I know that's right. Next on the list is H-Town.
Yeah, she gets nothing. She gets paid dust.
Why?
Because she's not my friend. What the fuck you mean? She threw flowers at my friend. No, absolutely not. We don't know her. I do not know her.
Not even like it's been so many years later, you're just like,
Baby, I'm a Scorpio. I will hate you down for your whole life.
Damn. Feel the sting. Finish her. Next on the list is Hood.
Oh, she passed away. That's very sad. Rest in peace.
Hood passed away?
She did. She did.
How long ago was this?
Pretty recent. I want to say like maybe within the last 6 months.
Oh my god!
But she was definitely Hood. I will say that because I read the comments on her little RIP thing, and there was definitely some gangbangers in those comments. So she lived up to her name for sure. But unfortunately, she's not with us anymore. So rest in peace to her.
Yeah, rest in peace to her. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's young.
Yancey. Next on the list is Chocolate.
Chocolate was really sweet, really quiet, pretty, very pretty, but she didn't seem like she should have been there. Like, it didn't seem like her vibe, her environment.
Next on the list is Bama.
Bama was fun. She was really pretty, really cute. She was pretty. Again, I feel like that really wasn't her environment. Like, she just was a little more calm. I think that season of Flavor of Love compared to the first one, I think had so many big, strong personalities that if you weren't over the top, it's really hard to get any further.
Yeah. Next on the list is Wire.
No, not a fan. Do not like. Ew.
Why?
Cause like, ew, did she do anything on that show that was like, oh wow, that was funny, I like that, she's cute, she seems fun? Like, no, none of that. Like, ew, yuck, gross, no. And she said she wanted to have dark babies. Like, fuck that. That's some weird shit. You went on a TV show because you want to have dark babies? Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? No.
Next on the list is Spunky.
Spunky was a lot, like way too much. Like the energy was just, like I said, the Summer Girls needed more energy. I think Spunky needed less energy. Like she was just on go all the time.
Do you think that's why she got put out? Because she was doing too much?
Yeah, I definitely think that. She was doing too much, like all the time. Like, girl, like there's way too many characters here. You can't be in every scene, bitch. Sit down.
Damn, next on the list is Something.
Something. Boo Boo Sparks. What? I mean, Flav made that name, or I think Beautiful came up with that nickname for her. Actually, I think it was Beautiful because Beautiful's low key funny. But yeah, Boo Boo Sparks, she was something. He named her the right fucking name because like she was loud. She was doing a lot and doing a lot.
I want to know what was going on in your mind in that infamous, iconic moment during the first elimination when she has the accident on the carpet.
I mean, at first, like, we smelt it. So it was like we smelt shit. And then somebody noticed it. I think maybe Crazy noticed it and she started to point it out because it was like she ran up the stairs while she was shitting. So there was like shit splatters on the steps. Yeah, it's worse than it looked because they didn't show that shit on TV, but like probably because it's illegal. I don't think you can actually show human shitting on TV. But surprise, there's practice
Surprise,
standard.
surprise.
Yes, surprise. You can't show shit. But I mean, like, it was so unbelievable. And that I think was the exact moment when I really felt like I was in a reality show. Like, I was like, okay, this is a reality show. Like, this is like what the fuck I watched the first season times 100. And this was only the first night. So I was just like, okay, it's only going to be more crazy from here. A girl just shit on the floor. So brace yourself, bitch.
Next on the list is Tiger.
Yeah, I don't like Tiger either. Like,
What?
and I'm gonna tell you specifically why I don't like Tiger. Because I won one of the first dates. It was like a gondola date with me, Tiger, and like that, right? And when we got in the limo to go, like, I'm a big weed smoker. I love weed. Weed is great. So before I went to the Flavor of Love, I had took a bunch of cigarettes and put weed inside of them and then like put tobacco on the top of them because I didn't know what the process was. I didn't know if they were going to be like, look at all my shit, try to steal my weed. I didn't know. So I had these weed cigarettes. So I figured Flav liked to smoke weed because like, who doesn't like to smoke weed? So I brought them on the date. And when we were in the limo, I was like, you want to smoke? And he was like, yeah. Like, mind you, we were in a limo with the camera and the production crew. So like they can't say anything really because they're filming the whole thing. And I'm just like, and Flav was cool with it. So I lit that shit up. We were smoking and she got like instantly so stuck up about it. Like, no, I don't smoke weed. Like, ooh, so disgusted that we were smoking weed in the car. And I think he got that vibe from her too, because like he ended up eliminating her, not liking her. She didn't want to kiss him, maybe because he smelled like weed. But if you both smell like weed, then you can make out. It's cool. It's not a problem. Like,
is it that she didn't kiss him because he smelled like weed?
I don't know, maybe, but like it was a bad vibe for me. She wasn't chill. Like, no, she was judgy.
And she did go home.
Mm-hmm.
Next on the list is Patience. Our blazing.
The blazing Patience. I don't remember too much about her. I didn't really have too many interactions with her. I remember that one day on the bus, she was turning up though. I think she got really, really drunk that day when everybody was like having that interaction with her. I just think she was super drunk that day. She got nervous. But I don't really have any interactions with her to say like she's good, she's bad, I'm indifferent.
Next on the list is Toasty.
Toasty is a good time girl. Toasty was fun. It was interesting because at the time she was going to college and she actually skipped her graduation to go on Flavor of Love. Like I remember her talking to us about that. She was like, yeah, I missed my graduation. So like when we found out the porn stuff, that was so crazy and shocking because like we thought she was just like a college student and skipped her graduation to come to the show. But literally like she was choking dudes with her thighs on the internet. So that was crazy. Like I was super shocked by that. But now she's like in Congress. So she's probably the most successful flavorette of all.
She's in Congress?
She is in Congress. And she's a therapist.
She's a therapist in Congress doing what?
Listen, I don't know, but I think she's from maybe Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, this makes me want to go. I'm going to do some homework. And you said, wait, and you said she was on the internet choking guys with her thighs. What does that mean?
Like, that's literally like, okay, you know how there's like different genres of porn? Well, I think there's a genre like where guys like to be choked with their thighs. And that's basically what her porn was. She was just like crossing her legs, choking out old dudes with her thighs. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like they made it seem. Like they did show a picture of her with her pussy out, but like she wasn't like opening it and putting stuff in it. And her porn was just literally choking guys with her thighs. I think maybe she had like a watermelon chew once or something. I don't know. She it was like a fetish.
Buckwild, you are wilder right now. Next on the list is Like That.
Like that.
And that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's the way she is, all right. Let me tell you. Like That was, I'm gonna say Like That was fake to me. Because even if you watch the episodes, like That was so cool with me, so nice to me, always like very like motherly almost to me, like big sister type energy. So then when she came to me and was like having this discussion about like, oh, where are you from? Rancho Cucamonga ain't the hood, all this other shit. I'm like, who is telling you to say this shit? Because me and you have regular conversations every fucking day. And all of a sudden now you want to have this conversation like out of nowhere. That's weird, right? So then after I got upset when we had that conversation, you see her like comforting me and hugging me and all that shit. And she's like, yeah, because like the producers made me ask you that shit. Like, and she felt bad about it because that's not how she fucking felt. So if you gonna go do some shit that the producers tell you to do and then come back to me and act like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, no, bitch, like that's some fake ass shit to me. Like, no.
Dang, Dara, the producers put her up to that.
And it's like even after the show, like she invited me to her house in New York, and it's just like obviously you don't think what you're saying. You don't think that because you never thought that on your own fucking thought. Mm-hmm. So for you to do some shit just because like your storyline is running out is whack to me.
She brought up a topic that people, I think, that has become, I won't say synonymous with your name, but like it's a part of the Buckwild discussion within this realm of reality TV, which was, you know, is she using a blaccent? Is she putting on? Is she faking it? And then, of course, when you got eliminated, Flavor Flave making it better and was like, yo, where did your accent go? What's your response to that conversation around your persona and how you choose to communicate?
I mean, just like what I told you about the Dara situation, the Flav situation is the same thing. Me and Flav had about 5 billion conversations where that never came up. But during that elimination, when me and him are going back and forth, the producers pull him aside and then he comes back and he says, where the fuck did your accent go? So it's not like that's some shit that he was thinking in his head. That was not his fucking thought process at the time. That was the producers trying to be like, okay, this is the angle that we're going to go to end this person's story, which is fine because I've seen a lot of other people have much fucking worse ways to end a fucking show. Like, if you gonna eliminate me just like, where the fuck did your accent go? That's fine. Like, explaining how I talk to people is just like talking to a wall for me. Like, what do you want me to say about how I talk? Like, do I feel like I'm walking around imitating a black person when I speak? Absolutely fucking not. Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, I understand that my voice changes, but I feel like so many people have different inflections to their voice depending on their mood, depending on their attitude, depending on who they're talking to. A lot of people nowadays, they call it fucking code switching or, you know, all kinds of different stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I don't sit here and think about what the fuck comes out of my mouth or how I'm saying it before I fucking say it. So to me, it's a non-conversation, but people like to talk about it. It's good. It gets people into a conversation. It keeps people in the comments. You literally can't please everybody. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Did you being portrayed that way ever have like an effect on you in real life? Were people ever coming up to you in real life and being like, "Why are you talking like that? Why are you doing that?" Like, did it affect you in any way?
Like nobody's ever actually come up to my. I'm sorry, I have this weird like. Nobody's
No, you look
actually.
no, it looks fine.
Nobody has ever come up to my face in real life and been like, "Oh, like why do you talk like that?" or some. Never in real life. Of course, the internet, yes, but I mean, like you really got to think about this, okay? I'm on a show with all Black women primarily. Maybe there's two other white people there, but really, it's a show with a lot of strong Black women. If any of these fucking women thought I was on this fucking show trying to put on an imitation of a fucking Black person, like I really thought that I was a different race than I am, I guarantee you they would not have been my fucking friend, been cool with me, joked around with me, like wouldn't happen.
I think I don't feel that way about you. I don't. But I think for the people who have that criticism, I just think back to like some of your green screens and your interviews when you would be like, my mom and dad are like I think you said like the whitest people, and like maybe something about you watching TV and like that's where it came from, or listening to music. I think maybe people having those sound bites in their head is what makes it feel like it's a costume being put on and not necessarily this was your upbringing. This is where these were the people that you were around.
My growing up is TV. Like I'm an only child. I didn't hang out with people. I had a single mom. Like everything, I stayed in my house a lot as a kid. Watched TV, movies all day long, magazines. Like I didn't really grow up hanging out with other people. So I mean, for me, like I don't know how to say, like I don't know what, like I didn't
No, you're saying it. Listen,
so
stand
like,
up in it.
You're right. I didn't grow up around Black people. I didn't grow up like I didn't grow up around anybody. I grew up by myself. Like, do I love Black people? Love Black culture? Love Black music? Absolutely. Like, do I think I'm a Black person? No. Like,
the point is, it's not something that you're putting on saying this is what I'm going to do. I'm choosing to talk like this. I'm doing this intentionally. You saying, no, this is just who I am naturally.
no, I don't care enough to sit and think and
I
plot
love
about
that.
what the fuck comes out of my mouth. I don't have time for that. I wouldn't be fucking funny if I thought about everything I said before it came out of my fucking mouth. Like that's just not how it fucking works. And I get what you're saying about like the green screens and stuff like that and jokes, but I think a lot of people don't understand that I come from a stand-up comedy background, all right? And what you do is in stand-up comedy is you make fun of yourself, right? So if people put that on you, what you're gonna laugh at yourself. So if other people are making jokes about that with me, if other people are making jokes about that of me, I'm gonna get in on the joke too. Like you ain't gonna be the only one laughing. I'm gonna laugh at myself too. So I mean, if you gonna make a joke about it, I'm gonna make a joke about
You
it.
gonna
Like
make a
there's
joke
people
about it.
on comments the other day saying, "Oh, she looked like Gypsy Rose," and I'm gonna post a picture of me a side by side with fucking Gypsy Rose because it's fucking funny. Like if it's funny, I can laugh. Like I'm sorry if you're offended, then I'm sorry. Everybody's fucking offended. Be offended. Like I cannot help you if you're offended by me. Go be offended by Donald Trump. Go be offended by Rachel Dolezal. Don't be offended by my little voice.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And I love how you put that. I appreciate that. Next on the list is Buckeey.
Buckeey. I love Buckeey. I think she goes by Shay now, so I'm not gonna
Shay
call her
Johnson.
Buckeey no more. She's Shay. I was concerned about Buckeey at first because she got her nickname before me, and he named her Buckeey. And my name was Buckwild, and I wanted to keep my nickname. And I was like, damn, he just named her Buckeey. Like that's crazy. There's no way he's gonna name me Buckwild after he just named her Buckeey. Like that don't even make sense. And he still named me Buckwild after that. So I was like, okay, we could be friends. We could be friends. But we were close on Flavor of Love because she was in the same room as me. So we were cool on Flavor of Love. Charm School, it became a little different because she became close friends with Larissa. And then her and Larissa were kind of a thing, and me and Safari were friends. So her and I weren't as close then. And then on Charm School, I ended up being the reason she got eliminated because I made the decision that we were going to all ask the questions to her. So she lost that competition. And I'm sure she was not happy with me about that, which is understandable because I would be pissed at me too. But since then, like, I've written to her a couple times on social media, congratulated her on her beautiful baby. I think she's doing great. Great things for her. She's always been a nice, sweet person to me.
I love that. I love that. Next on the list is Bootz.
Bootz. Bootz says she don't like when I talk about her, so we're not going to talk about Bootz.
But this your interview. You do what you want to do.
She just told you on your interview she don't like when I make comments about her, so I'm not gonna comment about her.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Can I ask you this? And of course, you could choose to respond if you want to. How did you feel about her interview when we did talk about you? She talked about you.
She did. She told a whole long story about me. It was a good story. I listened.
I don't remember the story. What'd she say?
Listen, I told you I'm not gonna talk about her. She don't like me to talk about her. Don't get me in no trouble with Bootz.
Okay, I got you. Because I don't want to be in trouble with Bootz either. You know, me and her, good.
See, now people gonna think I'm scared of her, but that's not the point. The point is, like, we came to a mutual thing. It's like, I understand her point of view because it's like, I make comments, I say funny little shit, and it's like, her and I we've known each other for a long time. We've hung out outside of this, but we aren't friends like me and Safari are friends. So it's like, if I make a joke about you, you might get offended because we're not that close. But really, it's not that serious. It's really just my personality is to joke around. And since we're not that close, it could come off to her like I'm taking digs at her. And that's not the case. Like, I'm not here to take digs at her.
I got you. She did. Okay, I remember now. She said something about you wrote a comment down on the internet, and okay, I remember that. It all came back to me. I got you. Okay, well, we're gonna steer clear from it. Next on the list is Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she's just probably the most beautiful singer I've ever heard. Like, her voice is like an angel.
For real?
Come on now. Did you see the episode? I was being facetious. She's horrible. Like, horrible. That's why she became a DJ. Because she can't sing.
I believed you for a split second.
Well, I'm glad. Maybe I will try to my role at acting because she's horrible.
Did y'all think she was gonna win?
No. Why? Why would she win? Like, I feel like New York would have just beat her up.
Damn. Well, because she was spending so much time with Flav. Flav really liked her. Of course, it was being talked about. Maybe she was giving Flav a little extra attention.
Okay, first of all, I don't think really Flav picks who wins the show. Like, as far as in my mind, Hoops and Delicious are very similar in like their person, and even like Miami, who won my season of I Love Money. I feel like they like to pick a almost neutral character to win the shows. You know what I mean? They don't pick the worst person. They don't pick the best person. They pick somebody that they can make the most likable because they want the person to like the person that wins. So I just felt like Crazy didn't have that likability factor to her.
Next on the list is the icon still living, New York, Tiffany Pollard. Tiffany, New York, Pollard.
Tiffany, New York, Pollard. Yeah, she gets the quotations in the middle. Now, you know she a star because she be using the full name, baby. That's a star.
That's a star, baby.
That's a star. Honestly, huge fan of her before I was on the show. Huge fan. Like, even when they asked me in my interview, my casting interview, they were like, who was your favorite person on the show? And I was hands down New York. Thought she was the most hilarious, greatest fucking shit on the TV. Now, when she showed up to the show, I laughed because I was just like, this isn't real. Like, New York is here on the Flavor of Love. Like, I'm literally in the middle of the fucking TV show I watched. So at first, like, it was funny to me. Like, and she's just funny. But at some point, like, she will try you. And like, for me, I can only take so much. Like, you only gonna say about 5-6 things to me before I'm gonna put my hands on you. That's just it. Like, and at that time, like, I really wasn't trying to fight people. I was really, still, I'm not trying to fight people. I don't want to fight people. And I really had like this feeling like she was gonna put her hands on me or I was gonna put my hands on her, and it would just be real ugly, like not cute. Because even if you watch the episode where me and her get into it, and then she gets into it with Crazy, she goes and like pulls the chair out from underneath Crazy and pokes her in her fucking head. And I'm like, see, if that shit had happened to me, like, I don't want to see that episode because somebody gonna leave in the ambulance. Like, no.
You know that it is crazy because, at least from my understanding, the show had a zero tolerance on physical contact. And the fact that New York got her up out of her chair and then put her finger on her head and was able to stay, I understand your rationale on being like, y'all letting her do whatever she wants to do. And I don't trust that.
That's exactly how I felt. Like she
Mm-hmm.
can just do whatever she wants. So I don't really know how I'm gonna react to that. And it's like I don't want to be the person on TV fighting some, like that's not my personality. And like I'm just not a fighter. Like I don't want to fist fight anybody. I'll fight you with my words, but at the end of the day, I don't want to sit here and do that either. Like I'm there to have a fun time. I'm there to get to know Flav. I was there for fun, not to argue with people. And it just, the vibe wasn't for me. But I did hear your story about her, and I have a lot to agree with you on that. How you said that she told you the first time that she met you that you was going to be a star and she remembered you. Mm-hmm. And she is honestly one of the kindest, sweetest, caring people in real life. Like such a doll. Like I remember meeting her. We did some work together outside of the show, and I was nervous to go there because I was like, I had this artificial beef with her in my head. And when I showed up, she was like, "Oh, Becky, how are you? Like, I seen your dog on Insta." She knew my dog's name. Like, she knew all this shit about me. And I was just like, oh, like, you're a human. Like, you're a real person. And it's crazy because she is such a real nice person. Not to say that she's also not New York, because she is definitely New York is her too. But it's just like everybody has different sides to them, and you don't always get to see that on TV.
I remember when you quit, because you didn't get eliminated. You quit. The only girl who quit that season.
I quit.
You said, because I'm on house arrest, or I got charges. What did you say? Like you
I
said
was on probation.
Girl, probation from doing what?
That time, I think I was on probation from, maybe it was assault with a deadly weapon or a DUI. I don't know, one or the other. But I had a couple brushes with the local law enforcement. And anyways, I wasn't trying to go back to jail. Like I beat up a girl with a bottle once. So that's assault with a deadly weapon. Like I didn't like pistol whip anybody, but I did hit a girl in her face with a bottle multiple times, and I went to jail for that. So yeah, I didn't want to go back to jail.
I know that's right. Next on the list is Delicious.
Delicious is beautiful, kind, sweet, smart. She actually, out of all the people on the show, when we got done filming the show, she was the one who went out of her way to try to get us all work, get us all jobs, like get us booked in magazines and stuff like that. Like she really did a lot for all of us to help us continue our career. Like we're in her music video. Like she got that rum shaker. Yes. Okay, like Delicious was really looking out for the girls back then. Like she really was trying to help everybody, and one of the sweetest, kindest people I know.
You know, Delicious is one of my babies. She lives here in Atlanta. I've been knowing her for at least maybe like since 2019. And, you know, she's always so sweet to me. We talk often. She's just a joy. Like, she's such a fucking joy. Like, I'm like, how can anyone not like Delicious? Like, how can you not?
She's so kind, so likable. Like, she's a great person, beautiful, banging body. Like, and to be a person that she was already on a different level than us. You know what I mean? She already had a lot of connections. And to be the person that wants to step out of that and share that with everybody else is like, that just shows you what a good person she is. Because she didn't have to do anything for anybody. And she went out of her way to bring, I think it was Buckeey, me, and Nibble. She let us all stay in her house in Detroit, took us for photo shoots. Like, took us to the guy from Eye Candy Modeling. Like, she really like got us free clothes, got us club appearances. I like that girl really put in work for us. So she's amazing.
That's what's up. Next on the list is Big Rick.
Big Rick. I love Big Rick. Big Rick is one of the coolest guys. Like, me and Big Rick were mad cool because I would talk to him a lot, like when we had downtime or like when we weren't filming, or sometimes Flav would be filming a scene with another girl, and I would always just talk to him. And I think me and him got along really well because I never tried to talk to him about Flav. Like, a lot of the other girls were always like trying to like use him to get in like with Flav, and I'm like, dude, like, that's not his job. Like, if you want to get in with Flav, like, maybe talk to the producers or something like that. But Big Rick ain't gonna help you with shit. Like, he's just a character like we are. So, I mean, he's really sweet guy, like, never like flirtatious with any of us. Like, you know, like maybe a guy in that position would think like, oh, maybe I could get one of these girls too. But like, he was never like that. Like, always sweet, always respectful. I saw him a couple times after the show in Vegas. I think he was Flav's real like limo driver when he stayed in Vegas. And I did see him a couple times in Vegas. Really sweet guy.
Shout out to Big Rick. Ladies.
Yes.
Ladies, we got a Flavorgram, ladies.
Oh my God, I'm having a flashback.
Thank you, ladies. Next on the list is Flavor Flave. Flavor. Flave.
Yeah, don't say it wrong. You know he will come and correct.
You saw me get it together real quick.
Flavor. Don't spell it wrong.
Did you see Flav on MTV the other day at the music awards putting up I said, you know what? And I said, look at Flav. Look at Flav. You better go, Flav. I was so proud of him. I was looking at Flav still being a sweet little gentleman.
And did you see afterwards, everybody was making fun of him. They were like, oh, he stayed on stage too long. And he came out and apologized and was like, I might have stayed on stage a little too long, but like, I was just so excited and hyped to be in the moment. Like, who does that? Who comes out and says, you know what? Like, I'm sorry. Like, he didn't have to do that, but he's such a likable, sweet guy. Like, and who didn't see Flav? Because Flav is fucking everywhere right now. Everywhere. You can't turn on a sports event and Flavor Flav is not there. He's at the WNBA game. He was with Jason Kelsey the other day. Like, that man is the new Snoop Dogg, in my opinion. Like, he has been upgraded to the Snoop Dogg level of fame, which he completely deserves.
He does.
Like, he deserves his flowers. And I think he's about ready to have his second or third round of, you know, major global fame, and he absolutely deserves it. I just think he's doing great things. There's a lot of things celebrities could do with their platform to get attention and to become relevant again, and the things he's doing are so positive and not negative. You know what I mean? Like, there's people out there that are on drugs, fighting people, you know, fucking people just to be relevant, just to make it on the Shade Room, and this guy's out there donating money, supporting women. Like, he's doing good.
What do you remember most about Flav when you filmed season 2 of his show?
I remember he smelled really good. Like, he always smelled really good. That's about it. He was nice. Like, I would honestly date Flav in real life, but I think he has a girlfriend now. I think his current publicist makes his clock and is his girlfriend, from what I understand. And I think that's how he became a Swiftie too. Like,
give us all the tea, Buckwild. I know that's right. Now, I gotta ask you, I always ask everybody, you know, Flav's third leg is very famous. Did you ever get a chance to see it?
No, I didn't see it. I definitely knew it was there because he wore a lot of silk pajamas. So, yeah, I mean, it was swinging. It was there, but like, I didn't see it. I didn't put my paws on it.
Your paws on it. Ooh. Next on the list is a production of Flavor of Love. How are the producers, the people behind the scenes?
The producers, the first season, I liked them a lot. The producers are the same, like, through all the way through Charm School, through I Love Money.
Okay.
Story producers are different. Story producers are crazy. I'm not a fan of story producers because story producers will lie to you and tell you all kinds of crazy shit and then get you to spill your guts and cry, and that's their job. But story producers are hella manipulative. um as far as the show producers, I think they were great. They did a good job, but the most of all, I would say that on Flavor of Love, the most memorable thing I think is the editing. The editors for Flavor of Love are fucking geniuses, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no other reality show that goes by the format that they do that is just making everything so funny. Like the sound effects, the way they cut things, the pauses. It's like so much added into the show that people don't even think about or realize. Like the fucking ching ching when Hottie's eyes fucking blink. Like
Mm-hmm.
the people who edited that show made it so fucking funny. So kudos to them because people, they don't do it anymore. Like you see a lot of fighting, you see, fighting, fucking. That's what you see on reality TV now. Flavor of Love was fucking hilarious.
It was
Like
funny.
so funny. And I think that's what's missing from reality TV today is just the fucking genuine funny aspect of it.
You know what? You just made me think of something. That is exactly what is missing from reality TV. Because I remember when I was growing up, and like my shows growing up were Flavor of Love, Housewives, Basketball Wives, MTV, Real World, College Hill, America's Next Top Model. The shows had drama, but the shows were mainly funny. Like people were doing funny things, and fights and arguments were really like these, I won't say rare occurrences, but they were always like these little cherries on top for the episode that just made it more heightened, because fighting wasn't even like a thing that happened on every show. Like you probably had like maybe one, maybe two fights a season, maybe one where it was like a big thing, but shows were mainly funny. And now that you say it, a lot of shows now rely on fighting and hitting and scrapping and blood and teeth being knocked out.
Yes, you need to take boxing lessons before you go on baddies. Like, come on now. Like it's Fight Club. What are you talking about? That show is Fight Club. Like, even Jocelyn's Cabaret, which Jocelyn is fucking hilarious to me. Her characters are funny to me. They say funny shit, but still it's like there is physical brawling on so many episodes. And it's like, that's not why I get that adds heightened entertainment, but I just don't want to see people fighting and pulling each other's hair. I want to laugh.
Yeah. Well, Miss Becky, you've reached the end of Roll Call for Flavor of Love Season 2. Yay! That was good. You did really well.
Yeah, I remembered everybody.
And you did a fabulous job, honey.
Thank you.
So I want to know, what are some of the behind the scenes moments from Flavor of Love that you remember that we didn't get to see?
Well, I told you about when I smoked weed in the limo with Flav. That was one of my favorite behind the scenes moments, especially because everybody in the limo was high as fuck because the windows were closed, the fucking cameraman, everything. Honestly, Flavor of Love, there's not too much that went on outside of camera. Like, there really wasn't. When we went to bed, we really just went to bed. And when we woke up, they started filming. And there wasn't too much beyond what you see. I think there was a scene maybe when I jumped in the pool with Flav after an elimination. I don't know if they showed that or not, but that was fun because it was just me and him. Nobody else wanted to jump in the pool. They were like, oh, hell no. I was like, fuck it, let's go. And he was cool. Like, he's so fun. He's such a fun guy. And I think more fun. I had more fun on Charm School, though, because it was like me and Safari was just in the room by ourselves most of the time. We would just be getting drunk in the closet, like having a party in there. Like, it was just more fun, I think, to do that show because we got more off time.
Yeah. So season 2 of Flavor of Love, the biggest season of the trilogy, has a reunion. Let's talk about the reunion where you iconically threw your shoe that grazed the top of New York's hair ever so delicately.
Right? Like, I couldn't have thrown that shoe more perfectly. Like, because honestly, if it would have hit her, it would have been a disaster. Like, she probably would have literally bled out her eyeball if that shit would have hit her in the face. So thank God it did not hit her in the face. Like, and they had the police there actually reviewing the fucking footage to make sure that I did not hit her. So there's that, because like they definitely was trying to put somebody in jail on that reunion. Like it was crazy. That reunion was really like, what you see is really what went down. But the reason I threw the shoe is because like we all wanted to fight her. And I knew I couldn't get from where I was sitting to the stage without getting interrupted. I knew I couldn't do it. So I was like thinking back, like, what can I do? And I thought about the movie Austin Powers, right? So in Austin Powers, there's this villain. I think his name is Number Two. And he throws a shoe. That's his weapon. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw the shoe. And I said it to one of the producers before I actually did it. And I don't think that like they took me serious at all. They were just like, oh, this fucking girl, like she's Buckwild, whatever. But like, no, I was like, yeah. So I was plotting when she came out and I just was like, let it launch, baby. Let's see what happens. And you saw what happened.
And you got put out.
Yeah, but they let me back in.
For real?
No, like I was there the whole reunion. Like they didn't really put us out. We all like still stayed. But I think what really happened was at the end, they didn't want us to be in the parking lot with New York because we was really hyped. Like the situation really got out of control. We actually physically did want to fight New York. Like it was not a joke at that point. It was like we was going to find her in the parking lot and beat her up. So they would not allow us to be in the parking lot with New York. They were like making sure everybody left, making sure that like shit did not go down in the parking lot because we was literally like plotting on this woman to like jump her in the fucking parking lot, like, which is so crazy because it's like, because it's a TV show, this is not even real life, but the intensity of the whole thing at the time was just a lot.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you guys didn't beat up New York.
I'm glad we didn't beat her up either. She's so tiny. Imagine getting jumped by like all of us. That's horrible. Poor thing.
Horrible. That would have been a slaughter.
Yeah, it would not have been right.
Jesus. So Flavor of Love season 2 comes out. It's a huge season, right? Millions of views. How did it change your life?
It completely changed my life. I was doing stand-up comedy before I did Flavor of Love 2. And a lot of people wanted to book me for stand-up comedy after I did Flavor of Love because they were like, oh, you know, she's on TV, we're going to sell tickets. But I had just started doing stand-up comedy. So it was like, I didn't have enough material to do the shows that they were trying to book me for. So instead of going on stage and doing an hour of material that I don't have and bombing, I basically just quit doing comedy because I was like, look, I don't have the material that the people want to book me for. So I'm not going to go out there and make a fool out of myself because I could get a check. So basically I quit doing comedy after Flavor of Love, but I did a lot of other stuff. Obviously I did 2 more TV shows with VH1 and that was able to give us club appearances and stuff like that. I mean, it's 2024 now and I'm doing a club appearance at the end of the month. That's what Flavor of Love has done for my life. Like how this many years later am I ever able to book an appearance in a club? That's crazy.
That's a blessing.
Yes. So catch me in Dallas, September 29th, the end of this month. I know you were just there. I saw you in your little pool party.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
I had an amazing time. I can't wait to. By the time the world sees this, I would have posted what I wore. I can't wait for everyone to see what I wore at the pool party.
I want to see. Send me a picture in the DM.
So you made roughly $1,100, let's say maybe $2,000, including the reunion directly from the show. But were you able to make good money by being on these shows? Like good?
I wouldn't say good money. Like it's interesting because I started doing stuff back in the day that's super popular now. Like I had merchandise, I had t-shirts and stuff like that. I used to have a blog talk radio show where I used to do a show just like this where I would interview
blog talk radio. Oh my God.
Crazy, right?
Yes. You just brought back so many memories by saying blog talk radio.
I used to do a blog talk radio called Buckwild Sunday, and I would interview other reality stars. And it was just something like this, but it was so far ahead of its time. Like now people have podcasts and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And like I even had my own advertisers on that show. Like people would pay me to do commercials on that show for them. So it was like I created a lot of opportunities for myself. I just think that the market was not ready for that at that time. Mm-hmm. Like you see now people are so much more successful with their whatever line they choose to go in from reality TV. And I
Mm-hmm.
just think we were a few years too early for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, but it makes me happy to hear that in 2024, like you're still booking jobs. That's freaking
Okay.
amazing.
Well, shout out to the gays because they still like to party with us. And
Yes.
Goldie's gonna be at their parents with me too. And it's so cool to get to hang out with her and the love we get from people. It's like it's so nice to see that people really have such a fondness for something that we did.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. And it's gonna be fabulous. It's gonna be fabulous because it's y'all. It's y'all. So it's gonna be amazing. So you finish Flavor of Love season 2, and then you get a phone call about Charm School. Tell us about how Charm School comes into your life.
So for Charm School, they actually told us about Charm School on the Flavor of Love 2 reunion. They were like, okay, like if you guys don't act up too much, like we have this other show we're thinking about making. They kind of explained a little bit to us, but they were like basically like, don't fucking kill New York because if you do, we can't make this show. Like you guys have to be able to participate in another show. So don't get too turned up on this show. Although we clearly did not listen very well. Um, that's when we first heard about it. And we didn't know like who was going to be cast on it, who was going to be in charge of it. But that was the first knowledge we got of it. And then I think I can't even remember the timeline. But I remember I think I still have like the thing they sent us the breakdown of like what to bring, what's going to happen and stuff like that. It was super exciting, but we did think at the time it was going to be hosted by Kimora Lee Simmons and not Monique. I think no, I think we might have had an idea that it could have been Monique because I remember reading her book before I went. I had rented her book, checked her book out at the library. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like up to date on that. But I think we were really leaning towards it was going to be Kimora Lee Simmons,
Wow.
which
What a
is
different.
completely different. That would have been a whole different fucking show.
That
Like,
would have been a whole different show. And Kimora Lee Simmons was a shit on TV back then. Like
yeah.
she was one of the it girls.
Yeah, it would have been way different. Like I'm
Wow.
so glad it was Monique because I fucking love Monique. Like I was doing
Me
stand-up
too.
comedy at the time. So to be able to even get to meet fucking Monique, I was like jaw on the floor, stunned, fucking obsessed. Mind you, Monique probably had the best makeup artist in the whole fucking industry because her face was beat the fuck down. Like, and Dee Dee Kelly was her makeup artist at the time. And I remember just like being in awe of Monique's makeup. Like she had her fucking perfect hair, perfect fucking makeup. I was just like, wow, like this is a fucking goddess. Like I was obsessed with Monique because like she's a legend. She's a fucking legend. And she only went on to become even more of a legend after that.
Yeah, I love Monique. Monique is one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. I actually worked with her on a show that I was executive producing on Fox Soul called Turned Out with T.S. Madison, and I had the pleasure of like producing the segment and meeting her and talking to her husband. I was just like, I just want to let you know I fucking love you. Like I've been loving you since I could love you. You're so fucking amazing.
Monique
Um,
gets a lot of hate. She gets so much hate. And it's just like, Monique is a real bitch. Monique is a real person and she stands up for herself. And not everybody likes that. Like, but you have to stand up for yourself. And if that makes you a bitch to other people, that's unfortunate because you got to stand up for yourself. Nobody else is going to do it.
I know that's right. Shout out to Monique. Shout out to Monique who's winning right now. She's in a winning season right now, and I absolutely love to see it on her. Going
Right? The
back to
ultimate comeback.
right,
Like so
yes.
good. Everybody dogged you out and you stayed true to what you fucking said and they had to come around and fucking admit that they were wrong because you stayed solid to your word. They fucking had to come and tell the truth.
Ain't that something?
God will do it.
That's so powerful. Monique don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure she knows, but that probably inspired so many people to like remain true and not bend and not give in. Like stay true to yourself because
It
it'll work out in the end.
inspirational, yes. What she did took some big fucking balls and she fucking did it like a champ.
What's your reaction to the criticism that people like Bootz give her as it relates to her role on Charm School and how she treated you guys?
I mean, everybody has a different experience with her. Obvious, it's
Mm-hmm.
very obvious that her and Monique did not get along. Like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't like each other. So I don't expect Bootz to say anything nice about Monique or vice versa. Like, not everybody is going to get along. Their personalities very much clash. So of course Larissa don't like her. Like, Monique didn't like Larissa. So, I mean, you know, and Goldie had a different experience with her as well. Like, but my experience with Monique was always positive. Monique was always so sweet to me. Came up even outside of the show, encouraged me, was like, hey, you know, I think what you're doing is really good. Continue with the stand-up comedy. Like, she was always very straightforward, very encouraging to me. I never got any negativity from Monique. Even when she was trying to correct me or trying to make me understand things. There's a episode of Charm School where like I freak out and I'm crying. It was Monique's fucking birthday. Like, it was her real fucking birthday that day. And she came in and like I was not in the scene because I was up in my room crying. And like she on her own came up to my room and found me crying and had this whole discussion with me. Like, and she did that as a person. Like, the producers didn't say, oh, go have this fucking conversation with her. Like, she came and really talked to me and talked to my heart and was like, looking me in my eyes and was like a real human that cared about another human at that point. So I have only good things to say about Monique. I think she's amazing.
Shout out to Monique, honey. I want to do another mini roll call with you within the context of Charm School. So let's talk about Thaila. She was on season 1 of Flavor of Love. And this was your first time working with her. Her first episode was a lot. It was a lot of emotions and energy. And she subsequently went home. Monique sent her home. But what was your experience like working with her on that show?
She just was. We had to go camp outside on that episode. Like, I don't think I really spoke to her until we got on that bus and we were going up the hill, and then we had to carry all them fucking camping supplies up this fucking hill. Like, I was not in any kind of mood to deal with whatever the fuck she was talking about, having a whole dramatic fit before we even climbed up the mountain. Like, whatever she said, I could have fucking cared less. Like, I'm sure I just I'm an only child. Like, I don't have patience to deal with other people and their problems. Like, I'm gonna grab my little fucking sleeping bag in a pot and hike myself up the fucking hill and let you sit down here and have your fit, because I don't know you. I don't know why you're mad, but it wasn't for me. I didn't want to deal with it. She was just loud and annoying to me.
I think she may have gotten sent home because maybe the producers thought she wasn't fit for the show. Like, if you already going crazy like this on day 1 and 2, girl, what day 7 gonna look like?
Yeah, I think she might. And didn't she cry in like a? I think she cried in like a confessional with Monique, and she was like, "I just don't have no weed. I'm going crazy because I don't have my weed."
It was something like that.
Bitch, you should have brought some. I have weed. Like, what the fuck? If you know you need weed, bring your fucking weed.
I know that's right. Was it legal back then in California?
That's a good question. I don't really know. Probably not. No, definitely I don't think so.
Next on the list is Heather Crazy. Within the context of Charm School, she went home second.
Nevaeh, heaven backwards. Exactly. I saw the whole whites of your eyes when I said that. And that's exactly how I think we all felt, because she kept going so hard on Charm School to be called Nevaeh. Like, she was fighting for it so hard. And I think it's because she wanted that to be like her singer name. But the whole point was like, you supposed to be yourself. Like, shit, if I gotta be Becky, you gotta be fucking Heather, bitch. Okay? Like, you are not Nevaeh. If I'm not Buckwild, you are not fucking Nevaeh. All right? And she really, like, she's a pretty girl and that's great. But it's like, she had no skills to be friends with other women. Like, she just nobody was really her friend, because I don't think she gets along with women. She was in the room with me and Safari, and she got kicked out right away, which was good. It was like, we got the room to ourselves.
Jesus. Toasty, she went home third. How was she in Charm School?
Toasty was hella wasted in Charm School. She was just drunk a lot. I don't think she was even there for that long, but she was drunk. She was fun. Like, she was a good time girl.
Next on the list is Crystal, also known as Sirius.
I don't like her.
For real. I was not expecting that.
I don't like her. Like, I feel like on the show, me and her didn't get along. She was just very selfish to me. I could can get why people think she's funny. I think when I watched her on Flavor of Love 1, I actually did like her. I thought she was pretty. I thought she was funny. But when she was on Charm School, I did not like her personality. Like, she was very, it's me, I'm a model. Like, the way she was portrayed on that show was how she was. It was like, girl, we don't want to hear you talk about yourself all fucking day. Like, she was fun when she wasn't talking about herself, but that was rare.
Next on the list is Courtney. Goldie!
I love Goldie. I was a fan of Goldie from season 1. I don't know who's not a fan of Goldie, because Goldie's probably the most likable person out of the whole of Love universe. Like, I tell her all that time, I'm like, girl, you don't have any fucking controversy. Like, everybody just likes your ass. Like, you're everybody's fucking favorite. Like, the worst thing you did was throw up a little bit. Like, come on, girl. Like, you got the best edit out of everyone. And it's like, she's just so fun. Such, a Southern sweet person. Like, she's really genuinely who she is on TV. She's like that all the time. And she's very funny. She's fun as fuck to hang out with. She almost drowned me in the middle of the ocean, though, because she told me she could swim and she really couldn't swim. And we went in the middle of the fucking ocean on a boat to go snorkeling. And she literally almost drowned me by hanging on to me, like, for her fucking dear life. I don't even know why she got at the boat when she couldn't swim. But
oh my God,
she tried. She definitely gave it her best effort. And she actually ended up really being good at snorkeling. So shout out to her for trusting me to take her into the wide open fucking ocean. But she did almost kill me there.
Oh my God. Next on the list is Hottie Shatar Taylor.
Hottie Shatar. I think I had met her a couple times before we filmed Charm School, like maybe at a reality show or something. So I didn't really know her personality. When we went on Charm School, she was very much in character 100% of the time. Like, never broke character for a second. And I've talked to her outside of filming, and the percentage of what her character is, and it's really, the line is really hard to figure out there. Because, like, she's not stupid. She's really smart, but she plays dumb. But also, I feel like she partly is that dumb person too. So it's a very confusing mix to figure out where the real Shatar is there.
You are funny.
I mean, she has a production company and, like, makes movies and stuff with her husband. So I feel like she's really smart and knows how to do things. But also, she's, like, hella dumb and weird. Like, she really wears that fucking hair. Like, she really wears that, like, to events where she's not playing Hottie.
My favorite Hottie moment from Charm School is when she goes on that date with Mr. Firestone, and it's just like horrible. It's like horrible. And then she gets up to the thing, her hair is all over the fucking place. She got all this dress, her titties, her ass, and she goes to unveil the thing, and it falls on the ground. And she says, voila.
That's why I say, like, she's so dumb. It's actually smart sometimes. It's like, she was the perfect person to go on that date, by the way, because the juxtaposition of her fucking self with that fucking group of people was hilarious. Nobody else should have been on that date.
She gets out the car and falls. Right? She, like, falls.
That's why I'm like, is that a character, or is that, like, you're a genius? Are you a genius?
Oh my God. Next on the list is Like That Dara.
Still same. Like, she's still fake to me. She was fake on that show to me too, because, like, she picked a fight with Safari on that show. Like, they should have took me and Safari on that shopping spree that they went on, and they didn't. And then she picked a fight with Safari. Like, she does shit to get screen time that I feel like is because she just don't give enough other than that. She got to fight with somebody else to be entertaining.
Now, from what I can remember from the show, now you fill in the blanks for me, she offered some of her clothes to Safari once she got back, and then Safari went bananas. But you say she picked the fight with her. What makes you say she picked the fight with her?
I feel like, why would you even offer her the fucking clothes? Like, why are you even speaking to her when you didn't invite us to the fuck? First of all, if she wanted to give her clothes, she should have invited us on the shopping spree, and the bitch could have got her own new clothes. Nobody wants your dusty ass fucking clothes, bitch. You fucking big as fuck. Like, Safari ain't the same size as you, bitch. Why you giving her your oversized fucking business suit, bitch? Don't nobody want to wear your fucking shit? Fuck you. I would have fought her too.
Oh, damn. Next on the list is, I'm gonna say her name now. I'm gonna be fair. You do whatever you want to do with it. Is Larissa Hodge, Bootz.
Larissa was on that show. I think Larissa, like I said, I'm not gonna comment too much about Larissa because she don't like it. But I feel like Larissa has a different point of view about Charm School than anybody else. Larissa's point of view is Larissa's experience, and everybody had their own experience. So I feel like Larissa had a very different experience than a lot of us on that show. And what you see her talking about that is her experience from that show. I didn't have the same experience.
I know that's right. And no comment on Larissa.
No.
Next on the list is Brooke Thompson, Pumpkin. Pumpkin
is like, she wasn't bad. She wasn't like, she's not somebody I would be friends with. Like, she's just, she doesn't think the same things are funny that I think are funny. Like, we don't hang around the same type of people. She was okay. I feel like she got a bad rap for being the whore of Charm School. Like, she wasn't really a whore. Like, she didn't even suck no dick or nothing. I think she like took a shot out of like a ice sculpture or something. Like, they acted like she was out there fucking performing a glory hole for all the men that came to the prom. Like, girl, you are not the whore of Charm School. She didn't even fuck no. She didn't even kiss nobody, and they made her the whore of Charm School. Like, I guess Charm School was really strict. It was less strict with the Rock of Love girls. I'll tell you that much.
Buckwild, what you know about a glory hole?
Listen, I have access to porn.
Next on the list in the context of Charm School is Shay Johnson, Buckeey. I'm just realizing how close in names you guys are. She's Shay Johnson,
Yes,
Buckeey. You're Becky Johnston, Buckwild. That is crazy.
It was crazy. And we even talked about that when we were on Flavor of Love. Like, it was crazy that our names were so similar. Mm-hmm. It was crazy that our nicknames ended up being so similar. We were in the same room. Flavor of Love, we were really good friends. I actually gave she stayed longer than me. So when I left Flavor of Love, I had extra dresses and I left them for her. So like, she wore some of my dresses at the end of Flavor of Love. Like, we were really cool. Spent some time together after Flavor of Love. On Charm School, like I said, she ended up becoming friends with Larissa because they were in the same room together. I ended up becoming friends with Safari. And then at the end, there was the elimination episode where it's like, I asked Safari, like, I figured out how the elimination was going to go. Because we had this challenge where we had to ask questions, and whoever got the most questions wrong had to go home. And instantly, the way my brain thinks is, okay, so if we ask all the questions to one person, they're going to go home because they're going to we got to pick who we ask the questions to. So if we ask only one person, she can only ask one of us a question. But if all three of us are asking that person a question, no matter how many they answer, they're going to fail first. And I asked Safari, I was like, who do you want to go home? Like, between Shay and Laylene, because me and her were really close. So obviously I wasn't going to send her home. So I'm like, who should we get rid of? And she was like, Shay. So I was like, okay, let's get Laylene. Let's make this deal. And Shay's going to go home. Because at that point, I had gotten in a fight with Shay because her and Larissa were doing that whole hidden picture thing and like lying to people about they didn't do it. And so I was just kind of like off put by that because it was like, girl, why are you lying to me about some weird shit anyway? So I didn't really feel some type of way about getting her eliminated at that point. And that definitely hurt our friendship because obviously she went home. She didn't win Charm School. Like, I would not like that either, especially when she found out that it was me who was the one who came up with the plot to ask the questions all to her, because I think she thought that Safari had come up with that idea. And she didn't realize that it was someone who was her friend who came up with the idea to get her eliminated. So I understood why we had that little tension between us at that point. But at the end of the day, we were friends before that. I had so much respect and love for her. Like, that's why later on I reached out to her and tried to, make sure we're cool, make sure everything's okay. Because I do respect her. I think she's beautiful, great, wonderful, fun girl. Like, go ahead and be on Love and Hip Hop forever, girl. Like, you the only one who's still on reality TV all the fucking time, bitch. So you really did the damn thing. Like, you wanted to be on reality TV and you fucking did it, and you're still on it. So nobody can say shit to you about it.
Boom. Drops mic.
Period.
Next on the list is Laylene. Smiley.
Laylene. It's so funny because I watched Flavor Love season 1 and I was a Laylene fan. And I didn't meet Laylene until we went to charm school. And I actually thought her name was Leilani because I had only read it on the internet. So I kept calling her the wrong name. I was like, Leilani. She's like, who? But Laylene is such a sweet, nice girl. Like, she's a little crazy when it comes to love. Like, she definitely has some issues with the men she chooses in her life. And I think that causes her a lot of emotional trauma. But at the end of the day, she's a really sweet girl. Love her. I talked to her a couple months ago because she likes to go missing every now and then. She's hard to get a hold of, but I like to check up on her every now and then just because, like, I care about Laylene. Laylene's a sweet girl. And we did go through charm school together. Like, we were the last 3 at the end. We had a crazy time. Me, her, and Safari had a crazy experience together in Vegas where we ended up like walking home on the street because she got in a fight with her boyfriend and he kicked us out the car. And we had to walk home at like 2 a.m. in the middle of fucking Las Vegas to her house. So it's like people don't see all the shit we really been through with Laylene. Like, it's been some shit. But Laylene's beautiful.
And how's she doing in 2024?
She's good. She's married now. She's settled down. So she's with her boo. I think her boo is like, she told me her boo is like a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. So I think she'd be going to like those type of conventions with him and stuff. I don't know. She's actually really like a super big nerd. So that's probably something that would surprise people.
I love that. I would love to see Laylene again.
She's fun. She's sweet.
And last but not least, from the cast, Safari, the winner.
Love Safari. On Charm School is actually where we became really, really fucking close. Because we had hung out a few times before Charm School. I think I hung out with her and Larissa, maybe her and Goldie a few times. But just because like those people are local to LA, I live in California, so we all happen to be at the same things a few times. But me and her we became very, very close on that show because we just spent so much time together. We were alone in the room together. Crazy, like I said, she got kicked out like one of the first 2 episodes. So it was just me and her in the room there. And I mean, she's my best friend to this day. Like, I was talking to her last night. Her daughter is like my goddaughter. Like, she does so many good things. Like, a lot of people don't know about her. She's got a nonprofit. She's starting to work in with like adults with disabilities because her daughter has a disability. So she has gotten into being able to have a nonprofit to help with other adult disability children. Like, she is an entrepreneur. She's like my idol. Like, I love her. I have so much respect for her. I can't say good enough things about Safari. Like, one of the best people I've ever met in my life, will be my friend until the day I die, because like that's my ride or die. Like, thank you, Flavor Flave, for giving me a best friend.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. Congratulations to you both for that.
No, it's really different when you've been through like all that stuff with each other, and then it's like you have something that other people don't have. Like, we will always have that connection, even though we haven't known each other our whole life. At this point, we are sisters. We are family at this point. Like, there's nothing you could do that's going to separate us. Like, we may not get along every single day. We don't agree on every single thing, but that's my sister. Like, I will kill you over her. That is my sister. And we're both Scorpios. So, you know, like, we loyal.
I think her winning Flavor of Love I think her winning Charm School season 1 was so fitting. Like, I thought it was so fitting. It was such a beautiful story. She was the first out on Flavor of Love, and she was the last one standing on Charm School. It was the perfect Cinderella story. It was just beautiful.
When she fell down to her knees and was crying, like, oh, everybody cried with her. And what's crazy is she did not tell me that she won Charm School. I did not know she won Charm School. I actually thought Laylene won Charm School. So, like, she was my best friend. That bitch did not even tell me she won, which probably she didn't tell me because she'll tell you that I can't hold water. I got a big old mouth. Like, that's probably why she didn't tell me. But I did not know she won Charm School until everybody else knew.
Shout out to Safari. I just want to say shout out to Safari. Shout out to Safari. Next on the list is Mickey Taylor. Remember her?
I still follow her on Instagram with her big old teeth. I love Mickey.
Oh my God. I thought Mickey was such a classy woman. I,
she is
I'm
she's
sorry. I'm
a
so sorry. What you
legend.
say?
I was like, she's a legend. Like she is huge in the industry. I believe
Mm-hmm.
she works for what, Essence magazine or something like that,
At
right?
one point, she did. Yeah.
Yes, she has a lot of accolades behind her, and I think like a lot of people didn't realize like how much of an icon she actually is. And she was super nice to me, but very poised and a very professional woman.
Mm-hmm. Next on the list is Keith Lewis.
Keith was like, I feel like Keith is not even a real person. Like he was just, to me he's such a character. Like obviously they cast him because he's such a character like that, but he really was somebody that was like, he came from the pageant world. So it's like if
Mm-hmm.
you look up his like record or something, he was like a guy that like literally worked in the Miss America pageants and stuff like that. So it was like, they really, for our season, the judges were like really actually professionals in what they did. Like I think season 2 and season 3, I don't know who the other judges were, but they weren't like people who should be judging a charm school. The judges on our show were people who should be judging a fucking charm school. Like they are actually people who have high standards and like high
Mm-hmm.
expectations of people. So I think they were definitely a lot harder on us. Keith, at first, like him and I didn't get along, but I think he finally like he got it. He got my personality after a while. It's like, I'm definitely an acquired taste, but he got my taste after a while.
Yes, yes. I wonder where Keith is now. I'm gonna look him up and see what the hell he got going on.
I don't know. It's a good question.
That's a good question, ain't it? We already talked about Monique. How was the behind the scenes of Charm School? Now, I've seen some clips on YouTube from VH1. And I remember back in the day, VH1 would put out these like behind the scenes excerpts like on Comcast on or like on the internet where you could only go on Comcast and watch it, or you could only go on the internet and watch it. And I've seen clips like when Monique came up in the room and basically like cussed all y'all out. She basically cussed all y'all out. Oh my god! If you're watching this right now, please, I'm gonna drop the link down in the comments. There's a deleted scene from Charm School where Monique basically just went around the room and just told everybody off. And she got to Shatar, and she said, Shatar, if you don't cut that shit out, if you don't stop that shit, it was so funny.
Because that's what I told you. Like, you can't figure out shit, Tara. Like, it makes you mad. Like, are you really like this bitch? Like, I'm gonna choke you. Like, and I feel like Monique couldn't figure that shit out either. Like, bitch, you a grown ass woman. I can't tolerate you. You really got that fucking wig on right now, bitch. I'm gonna slap you.
What were the behind the scenes moments like for Charm School?
For Charm School, it was I think we drank a lot on Charm School because we had a lot of downtime on Charm School.
Mm-hmm.
We drank a lot. Me and Safari, we get drunk at night and just, have a good old time. It was like, that's how we became so close. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really drink that much at the time. I would just be smoking in the closet. She would be drinking her little wine out of a coffee cup so we don't look like drunks. But it was just, bonding. It was fun. Like, we weren't competing for a man at that point. We were like competing, but it wasn't over a man. So we had more chance to just like kiki and be fun and joke with each other. It was like a sleepover.
You guys had a lot of fun. I mean, the whole hiking, right? You guys chilled out with Mr. Firestone. He liked you. You guys had a fashion show. You guys had a debate. You guys had to be on the streets. You guys had to sell your clothes. You guys had to go on dates with guys. You guys had to debate. It was so much fun stuff going on. What is probably the number one most fun moment you had on that show? Something we seen or didn't see.
I think the debate episode was really fun. I think that episode was
Mm-hmm.
super fun because we got to go out that night to the bar and like hang out with people. But then like at the same time, we were filming a TV show at the bar too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we were interacting with people. It was like the only time we got to be out of the house with other people. And it was like men's that like we weren't fighting over. So we could all just be like, this one's mine. This one's mine. Like just let loose and have a good time. And that was so fun. Like we all had such a good night that night. And I mean, I guess Larissa and Bootz got into a fight that night. So you could tell everybody was drinking because it was like they were definitely drunk when they had that fight. Like, but it was a good time. Like, it was so fun. And it was just like something to do outside of the fucking structure of the show. Like, we got let into the wild with the humans and we acted like animals.
I want to know, what was your number one not so fun moment?
Number one not so fun moment on Charm School. I will tell you, I remember this very well. When New York came back, that was my number one worst day on fucking Charm School, because like I had been having such a good time. I was cool, like, and at the time I still was very, very upset with New York. Like, we had not met outside. I think maybe we had ran into each other at a party once and I threw champagne in her face and she didn't know I did it because she was so drunk that night. Like, I literally saw her in the bathroom, chuck the champagne in her face and walk the fuck out. And to this day, she probably still doesn't know I'm the one who did it. She was so fucked up that night. But I really wanted to fight her in real life. I don't know why I had such a chip on my shoulder and didn't understand how hilarious the whole thing was. But I still had all that animosity in me when I went to film Charm School. Like, because I left the show because she came there, because I fought with her. Like, I did not like her. I hated her. And I didn't realize that that was like not really her. So when we were filming the episode, when she came on, everybody else went before me. And that is not normal for like challenges and stuff we do. Usually I go in like the first 4 or 5 people. Whatever we do, usually I'm not the very last person. So when they made me the very last person to do the interview, I started to get nervous. I was like, it's really weird that they're putting me last. Why would they put me last? And it was because the whole time I was like, oh, if I see New York, I'm gonna fucking punch her in her fucking face. So they were ready for me to go in there and basically punch her in her fucking face, because I had said that like 800 times. But I was not thinking New York was going to be there. I thought it was going to be Perez Hilton, honestly, that was interviewing us. So I was ready to go in and deal with his little fucking whatever, how he was going to be. I know he has an attitude and he's weird and tries to get at people, but I was ready for him. I was not ready to walk in there and see New York, especially in the situation that we were in, because we were in a situation where we're supposed to not act up. We're supposed to be on our best behavior. And all of a sudden, like, you got this person I want to beat up right in front of me. And I got to fucking hold my tongue if I want to pass this challenge. And it was just like, I was so fucking frustrated at that point. Like, because I didn't know whether to be mean to her or be nice to her. Like, I couldn't figure out how to fucking act. And then after I left that interview, I was crying because I felt so horrible, because I was like, oh, like, she just fucking got to me so bad. Like, I should have just got up and punched her in the fucking face. Like, why did I sit there and act like I was fucking like nervous to be interviewed by her when I had just been fucking saying all this shit? And it was because I was just such in a conflicted space. I was like trying to be Charm School, and then at the same time I really wanted to fight her. So it was like I was so frustrated and I had been crying. And because I did so bad in that challenge, like they were like, oh, you're going home, like you're getting eliminated. And so all of that was on top of me. Like, I didn't even want to be there anymore. Like, I was in the car crying that night. Like, I want to go home, send me the fuck out of here. Like, I can't take this. That was too much for me. And I was so upset. And on top of that, I thought that was the reason I was going to be going home. So I was double upset by that. And that's actually the episode where Larissa goes home, because I was supposed to go home that night. Like, and Larissa ends up going home that night because of whatever interaction happened with her and Monique. So it actually ended up not being bad at the end of the day. But for me, that was the hardest day I had there.
Wow. Yeah, New York came in with them big old titties about to fall out and that hair. You know, I love New York. New York, I love you, girl, if you ever see this. But New York was looking crazy. She looks amazing now. Like, she looks amazing. But New York had got really them titties so big. And the hair, I think, you know, weave and wigs during that time, it was going through a little transition, you know. That's when we were first just hearing about lace fronts from Beyonce and Tyra and them. New York, we love her, but New York, her styling around that time was interesting.
Well, and she looked so different from Flavor of Love 1 to Flavor of Love 2 and Flavor of Love 2 to Charm School. She is three different people on all those different shows. Look-wise, attitude-wise, she's the same on all of them. But she looked like three different humans on all those shows.
You know what? You know what? I beg to differ. Her attitude, season 1 of Flavor of Love, was a whole lot more believable. I love New York down, but I feel like after season 1, she went home and saw herself back. I feel like ever since that, every like beginning season 2, that was the representative showing up. Even though it was a great representative, it was still great TV. But like if you watch season 1 of Flavor of Love, there's a sophisticated, aristocratic, snobby Valley Girl energy to New York that you only really get season 1 of Flavor of Love. Season 2 of Flavor of Love and on is Nuck if you buck, bitch. It's all that. I feel like season 1, she was a whole lot more pulled up, I would say, just a little bit.
Well, she's from Syracuse, I believe, which is like a nicer part in New York from what I understand.
It's ritzy.
Yeah. So I mean, that's definitely where she was and where she came from. I think it's almost impossible to watch yourself on TV and then to do another show and not be more of that character. Like you just start to be more aware of it, aware of what they are developing you as, because when you do the first season of a show, you don't know how you're going to be edited. You don't know who you're going to come out as. So once you see that, you kind of know who they want you to be, and you can, work within that character. Not that it's not who you are, but it's who you've been edited to be. Like people used to meet me and be like, wow, you're so calm, you're so quiet. And it's like, yeah, because on the show, they're not going to show me just sitting on the fucking couch. Like, it's not entertaining. They're only going to show the most, extreme entertaining moments. They're not going to show people just being normal. So I think they have to kind of be a character.
You told us what your least favorite challenge was, which was the interview with New York. What was your favorite?
On Charm School or Flavor of Love or both?
Charm School. Or even both. Yeah, give me both.
Flavor of Love. I really like the challenge that I won on Flavor of Love when we had the dinner challenge, and like I shook the champagne up and I sprayed it all over Flav. Like, yes, because like first of all, we had been sitting there for fucking hours, so the food was cold as fuck. So I knew Flav wasn't gonna want to eat the fucking food, even though I ordered the only good thing, which was chicken, which I knew he would probably eat the chicken. He didn't want to eat none of the other shit. But my food was okay. But I was like, this is dumb. Like, this is so boring to just sit here and feed him a fucking piece of chicken with a blindfold on, or fucking let him feel on my titties, like let him feel on my ass. You know what I mean? Kiss him on the neck. Like, I had to do something different. And like instantly, that's what popped into my head. I was like, this is something I would do on a real fucking date. Like, this is how I would be if we were on a date. Like, let's get it popping. Like, and we did, and he loved that. Like, he picked me for the date because it was just something different. So I really like that. Charm School. I hated when we had to camp. That was awful. That was terrible. Never again would I want to do that. They made us see that. The military obstacle course, awful. Almost fucking died. Thought I was going to throw up a lung. Like, why would you think any of us could participate in a military grade obstacle course?
And they had Dara out there about to lose her life.
We were all about to lose our life. Like, we were not qualified to be doing that, like, at all. That's shit people in military training camps do. Like, what the fuck are you making us do? We had just ran up that hill.
I wonder if that was the same set they probably used for a Celebrity Fit Club. And they were just like, oh, it's up. Let's just use it.
I think, you know what? You're actually right. I should look at that because I think you're right. So that was not the funnest. I'm trying to think what was fun about that. Anything. I think all the challenges, they looked fun on TV on Charm School, but we was going through it on Charm School. Like, that shit was difficult. We were going through emotional trauma. Like, it was funny to watch on TV, but that shit was hard when we were doing it. Like, even the fashion challenge was not fun. Like, they ate my team up. They were like, how dare you put the fat girl on the runway? Like, y'all making her look crazy. I didn't even think she looked that crazy. I still think she could. Like, she looked nice.
Dara looked a mess.
Well, I have no fashion sense. Listen, no. Okay, because Beyonce put some fucking feathers on her eyelashes.
Beyonce, more like Luther Vandross.
Okay, well, maybe Dora did look a little more like Luther Vandross than Beyonce that day, but I still say that the feathers on the eyelashes was iconic.
Infamous.
I'll take it.
Did charm school change your life? Did it help you?
Other than making me more
known.
Yeah, I would say it made me more known. I was able to go on I Love Money after that, so it definitely gave me another step to go on another TV show.
How crazy was that reunion? I feel like a lot of stuff got cut out of that reunion, especially once Larissa and Monique kind of bumped heads.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember that reunion at all. So for me, I feel like that reunion was so boring to me. Like, yeah, Larissa and Monique fought. Like, they always fight. That's nothing new. Her mom was there. I guess that was interesting. Her mom was fighting Monique. That was just like, God, my mom will never show up and fight Monique. What the fuck? Like, why is your mom here fighting with Monique? That's crazy. You're a grown-ass woman. Your mom can stay at home. Like, no, that was crazy to me. Like, my mom would never be on TV fighting Monique. I don't understand why she was even there.
My mama may have pulled up, and that would have been my mama, because my mama has pulled up to my reunions that I filmed. I'd be like, Mom, can you
wow, okay,
stay home. My mom's a cop, so you know she don't be with the shits.
No, that's good.
I appreciate my mommy. Shout out to Mama Twixt. I love her so much.
As you should. It's good to have a mom that will have your back, but my mom is not gonna fight nobody.
So then you get the opportunity to be on I Love Money. There's two things I want to talk about from you on I Love Money. I want to talk about when you and Safari did that fake out. And y'all were like downstairs, like, girl, let's fall out. Until I think maybe they was gonna give her a shot or something. She was like, okay, no, I'm playing. That I want to talk about that moment, and I want to talk about the moment when you poured water on Miami's hair. So let's start off with the Safari moment, which is so fucking funny.
Honestly, and like, I will be conceited when I say this, because it is literally one of the best moments in reality fucking TV history. Like, that shit is fucking hilarious. Like, we plotted that shit, and like, the thing is, the audience was in on the fucking joke. So you get to see it from like the fruition to the fucking falling out to when our plan gets totally fucked, because they know that we're fucking around, and they actually bring in real paramedics with real fucking syringes that have God knows what the fuck in them, because we're in Mexico, and in Mexico, drugs are easy to get in Mexico. Let me just say that much. Like, you don't have to get a prescription. You could just go to the pharmacy and get whatever you need in Mexico. So shout out to the pharmacies in Mexico. Y'all are incredible. But I had no idea what was.
Dare I ask how you know?
I had no idea that was like what was in the syringe. The syringe was real as fuck, and I guarantee you they would have put it in her if she let them.
And then there's this moment where you and Miami get into it, and you just walk up and pour water all over her, and she like mushes you back.
Yes.
And like, I felt like the slowest motion mush I have ever seen in my life. It was like a grab face, push back. I'm still holding you 2 seconds later. What was that moment like, Miss Johnston?
All right. Well, like, she had been saying the whole fucking season, like, oh, I can't get my hair wet. Like, okay, so you giving me the fucking ammunition already. You already told me what you can't deal with, what you can't hate. So I know what your trigger is. And it was just like, there's no other way I'm going to win this argument that we're having right now. So like, instantly in my head, I was like, oh, I know this bitch don't want her fucking hair wet. So I was just like, got the water bottle and did the one thing that I knew would fucking send her through the fucking roof. And like, I did deserve to get mushed in the face because I fucking did some shit that fucking you gonna mush a bitch in the face after she do that shit. But what I didn't like about that is the producers was holding my hands back when she's mushing me in the face. So both of my hands are held behind my back. So all I could do is get mushed in the face. I can't even take her hand off of my fucking face because my hands are being held behind me, right? Like, how you just gonna let this girl smush on my face and not let me like do something? Like, fuck, like, I was mad about that because it's like, let me fight back. Why? Okay, just like you said, there's a no fucking touching policy. She won the show and she mushed me in my fucking face. Like, don't tell me there's not a no touching policy if there's a selective touching policy.
Yeah, because Larissa hit Laylene in charm school.
Okay.
And they kept Larissa.
Sure did. There's a selective touching policy, not a no touching policy.
How was I Love Money for you? You guys are in another country. It is a mashup of all the personalities from the brand. Was it a good experience for you?
I Love Money was so fun. It was in a beautiful mansion in Huatuco, Mexico, which was like never been there. That was crazy. Like the mansion was huge, beautiful. And then this was the first show that we got to do with other people that I hadn't met, and then men as well. So we got to be in the house with men for the first time, and that was exciting because it was like, hey, there's like different options to choose from here. There's like, it's fun to interact with men. Like we always interacted with women. Like it was fun to have men to interact with too. The physical challenges were hard. Like I'm not super athletic. Like if they asked me to do I Love Money now, it would have to be a I Love Money old people version. Like they would have to be geriatric games or something. Like we would have to play shuffleboard because that was very physical stuff that we had to do on that show. But the challenges were so cool. Like it's very rare that you get an opportunity to do some stuff like we did on those shows. Like when in your life you get to do challenges that are set up for you, like there's a boxing ring above the ocean 20, like never in your life are you going to get to do shit like that or dig in a giant pile of mud to pick up coins. Like it's just shit that you will never do in your life. So it's so fun to do it. It's like, you know, you're living in a fucking game show. And that was just a good time. It was fun.
Any exclusive behind the scenes moments from I Love Money that we don't know about or did not get a chance to see?
Let's see. I mean, okay. So I don't know if I've told this story or not, but Buddha got eliminated from I Love Money. And the reason he got eliminated was because before that episode, he had gotten in a fight with Safari. And like he had put her hands on her. I think he had grabbed her. It was like physical. Like he put hands on her, not like hit her or something, but I think he grabbed her wrists or something like that. And she was pissed because like, as she should be, like, this is a fucking giant ass man putting his hands on a woman, which he should not be. And mind you, this is a violent dude. If you saw I Love New York, you see Buddha fucking choke up Taylor Made, like crazy, right? So it's like he's putting his hands on Safari, like he put his hands on Taylor Made. Like you have no control over your anger. So Safari was pissed. I was pissed. They didn't send him home after that. Like he was still there. So we had a talk with the producers and we were like, look, we both gonna go. We're both out of here if you don't fucking take him off the fucking show because this is some bullshit. Like absolutely no. And they were like, okay, calm down. Like we'll see what we can do. We'll get back to you. So then they came back to us and they were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna split up the teams, and then the one person that doesn't get picked for a team is gonna be eliminated. So they said all you have to do is make sure that the girls vote Safari as the head of the team. So she was the team captain or whatever that got to pick her team. So that's what made us be able to eliminate Buddha, basically, because we just they made her the team captain. I think Frank or 20 Pack was the other team captain and he was in our alliance. So we knew they weren't going to pick Buddha. So basically he got eliminated because of what he did to Safari. It just don't look like that in the show.
Wow.
No, we stood up and we were like, look, you can have the fucking Buckwild and Safari show, or you can have the fucking Buddha show, but you have to pick, because we're not about to sit here and play these games with you letting you put their hands on us. Like, no. If you're starting with that shit, it's only gonna go farther. And actually, later on in that season, there's an episode where Taylor Made actually puts his hands around my neck and chokes me because I fucking threw his jeans on the floor. Like, he literally lunges at me on a bed and chokes me with two of his fucking hands in front of everybody. And he didn't go home either. So like I said, again, there is selective violence allowed on the show.
Did you complain about that?
I mean, what like, I guess I didn't complain enough to get him sent home like I did for Buddha. But I will fight harder for my friends than I will for myself. Like, and also I didn't feel like Taylor Made could have actually killed me if he choked me, because I feel like I could take Taylor Made. If it had been Buddha, I might have felt a little different. But at the end of the day, Taylor Made is a psychopath. Like, he literally choked me in front of a room full of fucking people on video. Like, that is crazy.
That is crazy. But Taylor Made was a rich white man though, wasn't he?
He's still a rich white man, from what I know.
You know they don't give a fuck. Look at Donald Trump. They don't give a fuck. This is America. They do whatever the fuck they want to do.
I was definitely not the first woman he choked. I will tell you that.
Ooh. I know that's not. What is Taylor Made up to these days?
I don't know. He has a daughter, but that's all I know.
Damn. Okay. So you do a 3-show run on Celebriality, right? And then all of a sudden, the whole division called Celebriality comes to an end because of an unfortunate event that happened after season 3 of I Love Money concluded. How did that affect you? How did it affect you with your standing with VH1? I don't know, maybe you were supposed to be on other shows. Maybe they had other shows planned. And then how did that affect your career? Because the place you have been on for the last, 3 to 4 years, it's now gone. It's no more. They've shut the whole thing down from top to bottom. New York, Flavor Love, everybody's gone.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, that killed everybody's careers at that point. Like, I will say besides Buckeey, because obviously she's still on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta franchise on VH1. But honestly, like, the way they were going was going to be like real world road rules. There was going to continue to be shows, continue to be challenges, continue to be seasons of this, which, you know, like, you see the Real World people, they're still working to this day on the same fucking show.
Yo, I think his name CT?
Yes.
I just saw a commercial and CT is still over there on MTV. I was watching CT when I was in elementary school, and I am 7 years now removed from college, undergrad.
Like the OG, like Coral and shit, still be doing it once in a while. Like, they bring everybody back to this day. So it's like, shout out to MTV, because those people keep getting paid. And I think we kind of
got to be getting a check. He got to be getting a check.
We really expected the same thing, especially when they started doing I Love Money. Like, they had the momentum to do it, and it got killed. Like, they could have made a different choice. They could have not aired that. They could have made an apology and continue with the series. I think they really just dropped the ball, let it go. They didn't want to be involved with a lot of legal troubles that were going on. I think a lot of people in our Celebriality situation had a lot of legal troubles going on, and I think they just wanted to walk away from it all. And I mean, now 51 Minds or Mindless Entertainment, one of them, they broke up, the producers of the show, because it was Mark Cronin and Chris Abrego, and they separated. And I think Chris Abrego is the one who's still doing what's the show with the ship?
On Bravo.
Below Deck.
Below Deck.
Yes, that's their moneymaker now. So I feel like they just decided to go with something easy that's not gonna, you know, have as much volatility as all of us did.
Dang. Were you slated to be on any more VH1 shows?
No. They were still doing I Love Money shows at that time. Definitely a lot of us pitched shows to them, different type of shows, not necessarily dating shows. I know I pitched shows. I'm sure Goldie pitched shows. I think Safari pitched shows, but they really didn't take anything too far beyond that. There was one point, I think it was before we did I Love Money, that we filmed a it was kind of like The View. It was like girls from Rock of Love. I think Heather was there, Laineen was there,
Oh,
Safari was there,
nice.
Goldie was there, Brandy C was there, and Craig Jackson was actually the host of it. So it was like a View style show where we talked about like politics and like popular topics. And it was kind of like a roundtable discussion that we did. And we filmed a pilot for it, but it never aired or anything like that.
I would have loved to see that. Oh my God.
I think Craig Jackson got the tapes. So if you could find Craig Jackson, he's got the tapes.
Okay, let me get Craig on the line. Craig, tell your fine daddy I said. Let me stop. So then VH1 ends. What do you do with life? What happens?
I think I just went back to work like I was doing before. Like I worked at Toys R Us for like 7 years as a manager there. So I worked at Toys R Us. Like I was on Toys R Us and TV. People would come into Toys R Us and be like, "It's time to get Buckwild." I'm like, "Okay, but just don't steal, okay? Love you."
I believe I saw, didn't a picture of you working at Toys R Us go viral like years ago? And people were
Yes.
trying to make fun of you and be like, why is she at Toys R Us and all this other shit?
Yes, somebody took a picture of me when I worked at Babies R Us because I worked at Babies R Us too, and like, and I was so mad because I gave that fucking girl a discount too. I helped her out. I was like, this fucking bitch took a picture of me. I remember you, bitch, and I fucking gave you a discount on your shit. Fuck you. You a scandalous ass bitch for that shit. But yeah, people did really get really upset that I had a job. They were like, how sad this bitch has a job. Like, girl, I had a job before I did this. Like, I went on reality TV. I did not go to medical school. Like, I don't know what you think I should be doing, but like, I have a job. So that was like, it's normal. Like, people have jobs. So it's weird. I don't know. I think they just expect you to be rich after that. And like I told you, I got paid $1,100. I don't know what you thought the fuck I was gonna do.
Not a thing. Becky, we're at the end, girl.
We are. I'm sweating. It's been long. Whew.
It's been long, yes, and I'm trying to get you out of here. Listen, I want to know this. If you were standing before Flavor Flav right now, what would you say to him?
I would say thank you. Thank you. Love you. You are a great guy. You have done so much for all of us and gave so like he allowed us to have our own fucking spotlight. Like Flavor Flav was a star of the show, but he never really talked down on the girls. He really let us shine, let us do our thing. Even after the show, when we went on to do other stuff, he was never like, "Oh, those girls used me. They were just there to get on TV." He's always there to say, "Hey, look what she's doing now. Look at this." Like, he's such a supportive, good guy. And I would just give him a hug, say thank you, love you, like continue to do you. You deserve all the fucking success you have. If you do have a new show, please put me on it.
Flavor Flav could come back with a reboot of that show. Everybody would fucking watch it.
He is coming out. He said he's coming out with something, but it's not quite Flavor of Love. So he hasn't announced what he's coming out with yet, but I'm excited to see what it is.
I'm excited too. Flavor's a fucking icon who doesn't
Yes.
get the respect that he deserves. He's a music icon and he's a reality TV icon.
All of the above. Yes, he's fucking Public Enemy. Like, I think people forget, like, there's so much history to what he does. And he's super smart. Like, he can play anything on the fucking piano. Just sit down and fucking play it from his head. Like, he's a musical genius. He knows so much, but he's also such a sweet, childlike guy. Like, he's a pleasure.
Is there anything you want to shout out that you're doing right now that we, the people at home, should know about? You have a booking coming up in Dallas with Goldie.
I do. I have a booking at the end of the month, and it's like a 2000s party. It's at this really cool club called Club Crush. I don't know if you've seen it in Dallas, but the club is new. It's so cute. They have like a giant penis that you could ride on. Like, you know how people have like mechanical bulls? They have like a mechanical dick. So I'm excited about that. And Goldie's going to be there. So it should be a good, fun time. I love hanging out with people who are fans of the show. So it's you know, always a good time when you get that reciprocation back from the people that, you know, got to watch you. And it's always fun.
Do you regret it?
No, absolutely not. I don't regret anything about being on TV. Love the experience. I mean, who gets to do stuff like that? Who gets to be on their own favorite fucking TV show? Like, that's very rare. And I got to do that. And I got to do more shows after that. So it's like, I'm so lucky. I'm like I said, I'm working the thing I'm doing a party at the end of this month off of something I did 20 years ago. Like, that's crazy. Toys R Us ain't paying me to do a fucking commercial for them. So like, shout out to fucking VH1 and the legacy that they created from those shows.
Yes. Any final words you want to leave us before I let you out of the classroom, honey? The bell is about to ring.
It's time to get buck wild, bitch.
It's time to get buck wild, baby. Oh my God, I
know
just
it.
wanted to say that.
You know what time it is.
It's time to get buck
will be.
wild.
Time to get buck wild. Okay? Forever.
The 10-year-old in me is having a field day right now. Buckwild, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. I know you do not do these things.
Yeah, you're
often.
gonna get me in trouble with some other people that do interviews, because I definitely told almost everybody no, but you are so sweet and I'm a fan of yours and I'm a fan of your show, and I couldn't tell you no forever. I had to cave in and give it to you.
You had to cave in and give it to me. I like that.
Take it, baby.
I'm gonna take all of it. No, thank you so much. You have really made my day. This was so enjoyable. I really appreciated this. Like, this has been a gift to me, and I know it will be a gift to everyone out there watching. I send you the best of wishes that I can on your journey. You were so beautiful today. Your energy is still beautiful, and I'm sending you virtual hugs and kisses, and just a huge
I'll
thank
smush you all up in the titties. I love you, baby.
Yes. Everybody, please give a huge round of applause to Becky Buckwild Johnston for an amazing Twixt exclusive on everything VH1 Celebriality. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, guys, that was so much fun. Did you have as much fun as I did? Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about that chat I just did with Buckwild. What moment stood out the most to you? Anything that has your brain tingling? Anything that made you gag? I want to know about it. I love you guys so much. I really, really do. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, for loving on me, watching my content, sharing it, liking it, engaging it. I appreciate it so fucking much. Oh, boy, you know.